Good morning, everyone. This is Laoshi Lawrence McElroy, and we have ourselves another live session. This is our, so far, ongoing Tuesday morning, 10:15 a.m. Play for the greater community, but specifically for the folks who are missing their West Babylon Public Library program, which has been suspended currently because of the COVID-19 crisis. So a couple of things I just want to mention off the top. If you were here yesterday morning for the live session for Sachem Public Library and we had a technical glitch, I was on my smartphone instead of on the laptop. Once again, Facebook and all of its awareness of what's going on changed the algorithms of their live session, and in Chrome, my camera, my integrated camera in my laptop was not being recognized as a camera, I guess. And the Facebook informed me I had to download the latest version of Chrome, which I actually am currently using, or use Firefox. So I am on Firefox, and I hope it works okay with sound and video and being live. Well, there's Colette. So good morning, Colette. So I guess we're live and going. So that's good to know. So there's that. The other thing I just wanted to mention, since it is the morning for West Babylon, I am wearing a 2020 World Tai Chi and Qigong Day t-shirt. Now, some may think, well, that was supposed to be April 25th, and didn't you do a live session? Hey, Steve. Yes, I did. But Bill Douglas, I'm actually wearing it for two reasons. Bill Douglas has set May 30th for the makeup date. So if that holds, I'm going to do another live event, a different Qigong set cutting for May 30th. So that's one reason I'm wearing this t-shirt. The other reason is that if Terry Kay is out there from the West Babylon program, or somebody has her contact information, could you let her know that I still have her 2020 World Tai Chi Day t-shirt, and if she'd reach out by Facebook Messenger or send me an email with her address, I'll get it in the mail to you, Terry Kay. So anyway, so that's reason that I have this t-shirt. We have been doing these live Tuesday morning sessions since March 24th. This is our 8th session, and I have some good news and some bad news about our Tuesday morning session. So I'll start with the bad news, and that's we're only going to have 2 more of these on Tuesday morning. The Monday session will continue. The good news is the reason we're only going to have 2 more Tuesday morning sessions is West Babylon is migrating our public class of Tai Chi, traditional Tai Chi, on Tuesday mornings at 10:15 to a remote environment. So beginning on June 2nd, our West Babylon program is going to get going again. So won't be doing the live sessions on Tuesday mornings. Still doing them at 10 a.m. on Monday. Like the library that is closed, the Sachem Library is closed until further notice. We're going to keep the Monday session going, live session going until further notice. And we'll still be posting, producing videos for our YouTube channel on at least a weekly basis, if not a little bit more often. Just posted a makeup last night of one of my favorite floor stretches that I missed when we produced a favorite floor stretch video. It was Happy Baby from yoga. But anyway, so enough of that. Let's get going. I see somebody else has joined us. Good morning, Linda. So we're going to do a little warm up this morning from the 9 temple exercises. And we're going to introduce a little bit of the crane frolics from the Five Animal Frolics, from Water Tiger School's approach to the Five Animal Frolics. I always want to make that clarification on what it is that we're doing, because pretty much everything that we present, different people present it differently. Got to work on my product placement. There's my yin yang symbol now facing the camera. So let's just do a little shake to start with, as we normally do. Breathe. Relax. Maybe some huggers. Our warm-up this morning from the 9 temple exercises is our approach to advance and retreats. So it's mostly lower body centric, but there's a reason that we're doing it as we move into the crane frolics, because it's really important when we do the animal frolics, because of the nature of our movement in the upper body and lower body, that we become very aware of our knees and we maintain an awareness of our knees. Because if we don't, there's a chance that as we move, because we're going to have a foot at a 45, and we're going to turn the upper body to the opposite 45. So there's our straight direction. There's our weighted foot. There's the unweighted foot as we turn in that direction. So if I pull my knee with me as I turn my upper body, I'm going to have an issue. And we don't want an issue. Probably now is not the time to have to go to the hospital because we've done something out of a lack of awareness. Let's keep the hospitals as clear as possible at this point, so don't screw up your knee. So our version of advance and retreat. So the feet shoulder wide or maybe a little bit wider, parallel. Knees are going to stay the same direction as the toes. So I'm not going to have my toes out. I'm not going to have my toes in, but parallel, and my knees are going to stay in that position regardless of what I do in the upper body. So that means I have to be aware of how much flexibility I have. Now, if you're a little bit more flexible in your knees, maybe a little bit of hip movement is okay, but you want to be careful of that, because once I start to twist the hips, you probably can't see too well, but you can, you can sort of see how that knee is being folded and twisted in the wrong direction. But if I turn and there's no hip rotation, pulling into the upper leg, pulling into the knee, my knee's going to be fine. So you sort of start twisting above the hips, not at the hips, but above the hips. And when you feel the hips start to turn and that turns into your knee, you're going to be done with that part of your body. And then you see if you have any more flexibility mid-torso. And then you have your shoulders and your chest and your upper back. And then guess what? You also have your neck and head. So if I have very limited flexibility in the twist of the torso, I turn my head and look that direction. And I'm where I'm supposed to be. But we do want to have that twist as much as possible. We're going to be doing simple shifts, maintaining vertical alignment, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl, twisting and shift. We're going to shift in two directions. What I'm doing now is the retreat, moving away from the direction at which I am looking, to which I am looking. Boom. That's a retreat. The advance, boom, and boom. And you may be saying, wait, Lawrence, didn't you say this is called advance and retreat? Why are you retreating first? Because it's always the smartest thing to do. Avoid the conflict. So anyway, little conflict strategy there, or philosophy, more than strategy. So keep in mind, two separate movements, the twist or the turn to look and the shift. I'm not retreating and twisting at the same time. I'm retreating first and then turning to look to the opposite direction. At first, breathe when you have to. And at first, I'm not even going to talk about the image that we use. We'll insert that as we play. And hopefully I'll be able to keep track of my count while I am talking. So we're going to settle the weight into the first foot. Now I'm going to move to my left. If you go to your right first, that's fine. Your head's not going to explode or anything. If you start on your right, we're going to balance the sides. But ideally, you should also be in your left foot. But notice, I'm not tilting to get there. I'm weighting my left foot as far as I can, where I maintain my vertical alignment. And I twist and I look to that side where the weight is. Now I press off on that left foot to fill the right while shifting to the right. So there's the shift. And I turn, tried to say turn and twist at the same time. I turn while the weight stays in the right foot, and then I press down on the right foot to fill the left. And I turn. And I shift. And I turn. And notice I'm not doing anything with my arms. Shift, turn. I just like letting my arms hang here. If you want to put them in, place them on the body, that's okay. I like the hanging arms. Some people will do stuff within this movement, but that sort of takes it away from advance and retreat. That's 3 pairs so far, I believe. Shift and turn. Now, shift, if you want a breath pattern here, and turn. For retreat, it might be an inhalation on the shift and an exhalation on the turn. An inhale on the shift and an exhalation on the turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Shift, that's about 6 pairs. We're going to do 6 more, and turn. Shift, maybe on an inhale. Turn, maybe on an exhale. I'm going to pause for a moment. I want to add an image. And that image is something's coming toward us. Something is expanding. Something is becoming young, the white in the yin-yang symbol. And we become yin, giving it space. So, yeah, and I think that was 7. So inhale, giving it space, and turn. Now something's coming to us from this side. We're giving it space, and turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. We're just going to do 2 more pairs in retreat. Shift and turn. Shift and turn. 1 more pair. Shift and turn. Shift and hold. So we're going to move into advance now. So same shift in the lower body, but now I'm going to shift in the direction I am looking instead of away from the direction I am looking. I can maintain the same breath pattern if I want. I can breathe when I have to if I want. I prefer on advance an exhalation on the shift and an inhalation on the turn. And by the way, you may have already guessed, the image flips. Now that thing is compressing or contracting away from us, moving away from us, giving us space, becoming yin, and we're becoming yang to move into it. I'm going to add 1 more element here while we're held. Hopefully your weighted leg isn't going to explode yet. No, I'm going to wait. I'll do this as we get into the movement. So again, breathe when you have to, use the image or not, but we shift the direction we're looking. Turn while the weight is in that foot, looking at the other direction, something's moving away. Shift and turn, 1 pair. Vertical alignment, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl, moving between the more or less the balls of the feet. Shift and turn, 2 pair. 3 and 3. Maybe an inhalation on the turn, an exhalation on the shift, an inhalation on the turn, an exhalation on the shift. 4 pair, here's 5. 6. In these last 6, I'm going to add 1 more observational point, and that is perhaps you can use advance and retreat to explore how while you are advancing, part of you is also retreating. And you can go back to play retreat and see how part of you or parts of you are actually advancing while you're retreating. I believe this probably puts us at 9 pairs, so 3 more pairs, 6 more times. There's 6, 5, again, maybe an exhalation. 4, 3, 2, and the last 1. And on that last one, turn and face the front and redivide the weight equally between the 2 feet. Now, I was caught up in other aspects, so I hope you kept that idea of being mindfulness. So as I'm twisting, my knees are staying the same direction as my toes, which means you have a smaller range of motion. You might even have your feet planted a little bit inside of shoulder width, and all those things are okay. So there's our warm-up. Puts our mind into our knees. So Crane Frolics is a favorite among people who have done it. If for no other reason, of all of of the five animals, and our five animals in our approach to the five animal frolics are crane, monkey, tiger, bear, and deer. One of our first presentations in our live sessions was from the tiger frolics, and it was tiger walking. I did that because it's good for pulmonary health. This is actually good for heart health, heart energy, which also means it's good for balancing the emotions. It's a very calming series of frolics. And I think that's something that we could use. I mean, all the animal frolics have their basic therapeutic qualities. We are going to, within this series, continue playing at least the basic frolic from each of the five as we move probably through this month into the beginning of June. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about the aspects of the crane when we get a little bit more into the crane. But I'm going to start with the basic lower body movement. Now, if you're here for the tiger frolics, very similar, but also different. So the movement of the crane, as I pointed out, you're going to be stepping 45 to 45. So that's the foot pattern. Notice I'm not stepping shoulder wide. This isn't our Tai Chi. This is the five animal frolics. And by the way, some people do the five animal frolics and they don't cover any real estate, except maybe a single step forward, and then they bring the foot back and maybe switch, and a single step forward and bring the foot back and maybe switch. And their lower body movement and direction of movement, that sort of thing, may be different. Their animals may be different. I have seen five animal frolic listings that don't have the same five of ours, might have tiger, but may also have jaguar or leopard, or might have snake or dragon or phoenix. So it's, like I said, everybody does this stuff differently. But these are our five. So we're going to, again, knee, foot, as I turn the upper body toward the other 45, belly button more or less, nose, knee, toes to the opposite 45. If you need to be a little bit inside of the 45, if you're tweaking your knee, that's fine. Again, 45 is ideal, but if you need to be at 30, 20, 10, okay. Now we switch to the heel, and everything comes in. Boom. And we pivot. Again, 45. Set the heel down. And unlike our movement in our Tai Chi, there's always going to be a hold. Well, that's not entirely true. For what we're doing today, I might preview or I might give you a sample, demonstrate the one that's continuous movement, which is crane landing. Boom. See, turning to the 45, this knee stays pointed that direction. Crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl, ball of the weighted foot. So I have control in setting that foot down, that I have control or governance dropping to the heel and filling that foot and coming in. If you need to set that foot down, that's okay. If you want to keep it in the air, that's okay too. Boom, I've become the headless crane. So one more step. Now, the closing for the animal frolics, a little bit different. I'm not going up and over the ball. Just like our breathing set, if you're familiar with our breathing set, this is what we call pour chi through the Bach way. Wherever my hands are, whatever they're doing, they're going to turn palm up. I'm going to bring the back foot in. I'm going to square off to the direction I'm walking. Hands are up. I know you can't see my arms now, so I'll do a very uncoordinated backward step, down, and a little rebound. So when we finish a pass, as the walk or within the frolics, I'm going to release the hands from where they are. They go up over the head, fingertip to fingertip, down, and our normal little rebound in. So that's the lower body movement. The breath for the crane, unlike the tiger a few weeks ago, is very soft, very calming. It's a soft inhalation, quiet in through the nose, and then with pursed lips. Like the sound of a breeze. So in through the nose, hold. 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 And there you go. That's the breath. So if we put that in the context of the lower body movement, it would be something like inhale and hold. Switch to the heel. And hold. Another thing. After the hold, my inhale should be done now, when the foot touches down. I hold, and my exhalation, after I set the heel down, should be done now. So the breath and movement are timed together, not only in the lower body, but in the upper body. So inhale, hold, switch to the heel, exhale, hold. Inhale. That was a little bit quick, sorry. Hold. Exhale, hold. And a little casual, well, not casual, it's a formal closing for the Animal Frolics. So there's the breath and the lower body movement. So let's get into the detail of the crane. Now, in our approach to the Five Animal Frolics, there are two aspects to each of the frolics. And those two aspects are considered what are referred to as the Buddhist aspects and the Taoist aspects. The Taoist aspects are, you could probably guess, the more esoteric, not because Taoism is more esoteric than Buddhism. Not actually sure why that is. But anyway, the Taoist aspects are about the nature of the movement. In other words, the Taoist aspects are becoming the animal. The Buddhist aspects are all the technicalities of the movement, the focus, the breath. So that step, Buddhist. The breath, Buddhist. The fact that the crane, we want to focus on what is considered the nature and the spirit of each of the animals of the frolics. And the nature that we need to embrace, the nature of the crane is expressed in its grace and elegance. Now, here's a little something that you need to know. Yes, the nature of the crane is expressed in its grace and elegance, but you don't have to be graceful and elegant. Approach the movement, approach your play with a sense of grace and elegance, and you'll get it, right? It will come. Someone once observed, that they were having difficulty being on one leg through the crane. And they had this aha moment, what we refer to as an aha moment, or I like the term light bulb moment, the light bulb goes off. And that moment, that thought, that realization, that observation was, a crane doesn't have any issue standing on one leg. So embrace that, understand, yes, you'll be a little uncoordinated, especially at the start. But if the crane falls over, just seek to fall over with a little bit of grace and elegance, or a flavor of that, a taste of that, a spice of that, and you're cool. So the nature of the crane is expressed in its grace and elegance. The spirit of the crane is light, peaceful, as if soaring through the clouds. All the movement should unfold without exertion. Every movement, regardless, there are movements in the crane frolics while you're on one leg. Don't worry, we're not doing that today. But even that, I shouldn't be clenching, I shouldn't be tight. I shouldn't be very muscularly driven. Everything should be like reflecting the spirit of the crane, light and peaceful. So, what's that? Oh, chi focus. Going down the list in my head. So each of the animals also have their own specific focus of how the focus is, where the mind is moving the chi during the exercise. Sometimes it's like, let it do what it wants to do, more or less. And the crane has a couple of differences. One is steady throughout all five of the five frolics of the crane. And that's on the inhalation. The image is the chi is rising from the Xia Dantian, not the acupuncture point of the Xia Dantian, but the actual Xia Dantian inside the body cavity, up to the Zhang Dantian, also inside the body cavity. You think about that line, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl. On that line are those two esoteric vessels. The Xia Dantian, the lower field of elixir in the lower abdominal cavity, the Zhang Dantian in the mid torso, lower chest area. So on the inhalation, as you're stepping, there's a rise. Don't let that bring your body up. It's a rise of energy in the torso. You switch to the heel, and on the exhalation, that settles back down. So on the inhalation, you have the rise of the chi to the Xia Dantian, and then the exhalation driving down. You see somebody made a comment that I think is new. Oh, Colette. Okay. I wanted to see if it was somebody new, so I'll see what the detail on what Colette. Unless it was a question, maybe I should see if it's a question. Yes, that would be correct. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. She was wondering when I step. Yes, the ball of the foot. The toes go down first. Then after the hold, I switch to the heel and fill the step. Turn, toes, ball of the foot, switch to the heel, and then come down. So again, different than our Tai Chi, right? If we're doing a Tai Chi walk, we'd always step with the heel unless we're moving sideways or backwards. We're moving forward, but the ball of the foot is touching down first. So I'm glad I looked. But anyway, so again, rise, fall, rise, fall. So that's the focus on the chi that moves throughout the process. Then each of the frolics individually have a different body focus. Although the legs do play into it as far as where in the legs we're focusing on the chi, it's more in the arms, which are wings. And our first frolic is crane walking. And our chi focus in the wings, in the arms, is to the outside of the arm. So we're talking the tricep side of the upper arm, the elbow, the top of the forearm, the top of the hand, and the fingers, right? And the idea is on that inhalation, as you step, I'm going to move a little bit closer just so you can see. There are two positions here. Now this fingertip sort of curved into the bottom and then opening up. Hopefully you can sort of see how that opening up looks a little balloon-like. It's on the inhalation, so you can imagine filling a balloon and then squeezing it a little bit to empty. Filling the balloon. Squeezing it a little bit to empty. And that's, almost did our Tai Chi closing there. Our movement through the whole body, lower body, upper body, for crane walking from the Five Animal Frolics. So we'll do a pass with everything together. There's a lot of which to keep track, right? And comfortable, within the idea of the Animal Frolics is to get comfortable with these different components, being able to sort of track the nature and the spirit of the crane, the fact the movement is light and peaceful, the qi circulation, the basic up on the inhalation, down on the exhalation from Xia Dantian to Zhang Dantian. The secondary focus for crane walking, the outside of the arms, the outside of the wings, the step, of course, and then become the animal. Hopefully, as you progress with each of the animals, people can actually see which animal you are being. Is it the crane? Is it the tiger? Is it the monkey? Is it the bear? Is it the deer? So a little shake, no expectations. So whatever happens is a pleasant surprise. Turn that foot out to the 45. Settle the weight into that foot. I'm starting on my right. You can start on your left if you want to. Bring the hands in, probably on an exhalation. Get in contact with your inner crane. Turn. Oops, sorry. Let me do that again. I started to do crane flying. We did Tai Chi flying yesterday. I'm still in a flying mood. There, just that roundness. Sinking the chest even more, rounding the back even more, holding both breath and movement, switching to the heel. Exhaling. Hands and foot and breath should all end at the same time. Hands and foot and breath all at the same time. To the toes, the ball of the foot. Switch to the heel. In through the nose, a soft inhalation. Switch to the heel. Out through the mouth, lips pursed. A soft exhalation, but with sound. So there's a little bit of a restriction. Last step, because my crane is headless. Unclose, turning to face the front, palms up, palms down. I'm sinking down because of the nature of the movement to then bounce back up and bring the hands into the onto the Xia Dantian acupuncture point. So there's crane walking. One of 5 of the crane frolics. There are actually 26 separate frolics in our approach to the 5 animal frolics. Each animal has 5. And then there's a basic animal frolic, which is really a misnomer in our approach. Because the basic animal frolics was originally designed to sort of just give everybody an idea of, what the basic movement should be and sort of the attitude. We actually say the basic animal frolic as the last thing people learn as they play their way through the entire set, because we get to that walk and we incorporate every aspect of every animal. So you have all the different chi foci, you have all the different physical foci, you have all the different nature and spirit foci. It's a lot. So anyway, just really quick at the end here, I went to go into crane flying, and crane flying, the hands are crossed, just FYI, and out. So that in position is much like it was yesterday in Tai Chi walking. Then we have crane walking on one leg. Still turning to the 45. Then we have crane landing, which is the constant movement. Then we have crane soaring, and the breath reverses here. I'm exhaling on the extension. Oops, I fell over. And inhaling on the compression. So crane walking, relatively simple. There's a lot to it, so it's complex in its simplicity. But that scent, the thing that people miss most is they just sort of put their arms out. You really want to feel that expansion, like this is the outer side of a balloon. And when you inhale, you're filling that balloon. And on the exhalation, that the chi focus on the outside is pressing the wings back in, folding them in. The chi focus on the outside, pulling the wings out, stretching, compressing back in. Stepping to the 45, being careful of your knees, being light and peaceful, while maintaining a sense of grace and elegance as you do your crane frolics. So, I hope everybody had some fun. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know, a couple minutes left. Does anybody have a question or anything about this or something else, Tai Chi or Qigong-ish? I'll just give folks a moment because I know there's a delay. I won't be doing a Tony Horton thing because at the end of his Facebook Live session, sometimes he's online for like another hour and an hour and a half doing a Q&A. Okay. So we will be back next week, both Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to flip things around a little bit. Continuation of the Animal Frolics will probably be on Monday morning. And something more Tai Chi oriented on Tuesday morning. But I reserve the right to change my mind and look for, at some point, hopefully by the end of the week, another YouTube post. I'm going to explore the 10 practice points from Chen Sen-Feng, who some people believe was the founder of Tai Chi Chuan. Others don't. Regardless of where you stand on that particular topic, the 10 points are still really good. So anyway, so look for that on YouTube. We'll see you again next week as next week unfolds. Remember, wash your hands if you're going outside and there's people around. Wear a mask if you can. Absolutely, stay at home and keep listening to medical professionals and scientists as to when it's safe to take the next step. Once again, I'm hoping you're seeing this because I'm getting a sorry we're having trouble playing this video message from Facebook. But when that happened the last time, both video and audio was staying live. So take care. We'll catch you later.